All right, let's get into it. We got Iowa, and we got Clemson here. Another 8-9 matchup. These are always tricky. You can't really tell who's the better team out of these. It's always a little bit. It's always a little bit of a tough call. Personally, you gotta respect the guard play. Both of them have decent guards. R.J. Godfrey is a solid guard for Clemson, and Sturts is a really good guard upperclassman for Iowa. We got the TV timeout right now, so let's look back at some of the games. It was a decent run for Miami of Ohio. Kind of kind of hit the buzzsaw here. Tennessee. Not sure what happened with Nate Ament. I imagine maybe some type of injury. I'll have to double check. Yeah, he had an injury to his ankle. Mm, well, he was already injured, but yeah, Nate Ament. Considered potentially a lottery pick, so we'll see what happens there. But they were able to withstand it. See if this game is back on. Yep, I think it's back on. All right. Cooper Koch makes one of the two free throws, makes two of the two free throws. 8-point game, 3:20 to go. Iowa up. Jeanette, this is the March Madness NCAA basketball. RJ Godfrey makes the driving layup. Thanks for the question, though, by the way. Anybody have any favorites? Any teams that they're rooting for? RJ Godfrey's been the driving force for these guys all year. Bennett Sturts, I do believe he's an NBA player. I think he's potentially a first rounder. A little bit of an older guy, but good guard. 2:17 to go. This game is certainly not over, but certainly not over, but Clemson's not really a high scoring team. Offensive rebound. Let's see what happens. Is he going to kick it out for three or is he going to put it up? Oh, I wouldn't mind them kicking it out for three, maybe like a Bennett Sturridge three, a little backbreaker there. Okay, so Clemson's coach challenged the call, and Clemson was charged with a timeout. Let's look at some of the stats overall, kind of tell the story of what's going on. So both teams, you could tell this is, I don't know if it's more of a defensive matchup or it's just some poor shooting. Probably a little bit of both. I mean, 38%, 40%, not great shooting. 35% from three isn't bad. Let's look at the full team stats to get a better picture. So Iowa's been to the free throw line 20. They shot 26 free throws and are out rebounding Clemson 38 to 25. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. The rebounding and the rebounding and getting to the line. Fulgaris makes the second free throw, makes both of them. 8-point game. Nick Davidson misses the three. That was kind of long. Clemson with the offensive rebound. I would say just stick that thing back up. Stick that thing back up, get the bucket, or potentially get fouled. Yeah, there you go. Foul on Combs. Hopefully it's a shooting foul for Clemson. They can knock down a couple free throws, give them a little bit of confidence in this game. It's not over, but knocks down the first free throw, 7-point game, 2 minutes to go. Nick Davison makes both the free throws and he's subbing out. Jake Wallen comes in for him. Iowa wants to get a really good shot on this possession. And I mean, for Clemson, if I was burning some clock here on a really long possession, you just want to make sure they don't score or you don't foul at the end of the possession. I mean, fouling at the end of the possession when you're playing really good defense is demoralizing. Bennett Sturridge misses the shot. You want the ball in Bennett Sturridge's hands. RJ Godfrey with the defensive rebound. Let's see if he's going to push it down. Ace Buckner with the layup off the RJ Godfrey assist. We got 56 seconds to go. 6-point game. Iowa at the timeout. You want to make sure you get a good shot here. Every possession counts. Burn as much clock as possible. Less than a minute to go. The Iowa Hawkeyes trying to hold on. All right. This is the ACC versus the Big Ten right here. Two of the better conferences in college basketball. ACC a lot better this year than they were last year. I'll tell you that much. Which is part of the reason why I think I like Duke's team better this year than last year, even though they had a lot more NBA draft picks last year. I believe with this roster they have right now, Dallas needed a three there. Oh, Combs with the out of bounds turnover. Buddy Johnson subbing in. I don't know if they necessarily need a tray ball here. Just get a good shot. Uh oh. What's going on, Buddy Johnson? Buddy Johnson, that's a pretty good nickname right there. You got to admit that. You want to make sure you want to make sure if you're Clemson, get it in the hands of your playmakers, right? Dylan Hunter, RJ Godfrey, get a good shot, Maybe high ball screen with the big short roll or a little high ball screen and like a little pick and roll to the big. So let's see what they do. I don't know what the delay is. But at these end of these games, there's always those little delays. That was a massive turnover by Combs, though. This UCLA game is kind of close, though. UCLA has been pretty good down the stretch. Credit to Queens University here with their first appearance in the tournament. They were a D2 school before. Iowa coach's challenge overturned. Iowa retains its timeout. All right, let's go. Let's get this rolling. Let's get this rolling. A lot of these challenges, a lot of these late game plays, the officials want to get it right. So you got to respect that. You got to respect it. It's too important to make any mistakes. I feel like a lot of these are going to be blowouts. Credit to Santa Clara for staying with Kentucky. That overtime game was pretty crazy. Wasn't able to watch it, unfortunately. Koch with the foul here. Dallas Thomas, I believe he's probably going to the line. He wants to knock down 2 free throws, make this an 8 point game. Oh well, foul on Dallas Thomas. So Iowa wants to make it an 8 point game. Koch makes the first free throw. Koch makes the second free throw, 8 point game. 27 seconds to go. Kind of do need threes at this point though. Well, Garris made both of these free throws. Clemson timeout, 16 seconds to go. Man, these games get a little stagnant with all these timeouts and calls and things like that. But I ain't mad at it though. UCLA, UCF. So credit to UCF though. Pretty even scoring for UCF here. I wonder if any of these. This is probably going to be a good matchup here. 7-10 matchup here, Miami. Shout out to Jay Lucas, first year coach at Miami here. Waiting to see. All right, all these clocks and slow movements, but we gonna get to it though. 13 seconds to go. Still on timeout. Still on timeout. St. John's. St. John's had a good year. Similar to Duke, I like this St. John's team a little bit more than last year's team. At Geo Fall, he's a menace on defense. He's improved offensively. He's hitting that three ball. Hopkins been in college for a while. He's a vet. Darling is solid. He was averaging a lot of points. He was at Eastern Washington or a school in the Big Sky. I can't remember exactly where. Ian Jackson, big time player coming out of high school, but not necessarily. I don't know. I don't know exactly. Yeah, I mean he's had a decent year. He was at North Carolina last year and just trying to find his way, but definitely has ability. Definitely has potential. I've not seen Northern Iowa at all this year. J Pop, what's up, man? Jose with the foul. Yeah, that was a crazy outing. That was an insane outing. They yeah, that was a crazy game with the MVP chance and everything. Xavier Booker with the foul. Listen, uh, this UCL, this is not your grandfather's. All right, game's over. Iowa 67, Clemson 61, Bennett Sturts with 16, RJ Godfrey with 15, Godfrey with 7 rebounds and 3 assists, and Bennett Sturts with 2 assists. So your best players came out, did what they had to do. Uh, Iowa's, I don't know, in my head, just maybe just a slightly better team, a little bit on both sides of the ball. Yeah, for the MVP discussion, right? The way he played, he was playing at an MVP level. Eric Feeney with the steal. Yeah, this. Yeah, he definitely. I mean, yeah, it's probably him, Shea, and Cade. Because with Jason Tatum coming back, it kind of changed the offensive output for Jalen Brown. But he shouldn't. He definitely should be credited for what. what he was able to do to keep those guys rolling. But yeah, I think those will probably be the three, right? 41 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. So you think it's pretty much Shea and it's just those two then. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Jokic is getting enough credit, but yeah, it feels like nobody's trying to give him the credit. He could only miss one more game, right? Yeah, Wemby probably should be in the top three though. I feel like he's probably getting more love than Jokic, but as far as the media, but yeah, he I don't I don't think people are really considering him seriously. But yeah, probably should get more respect for what he's done. It's probably because he missed so many games though. So the stream is a little bit behind where I am. I'm on the UCLA UCF game, but the stream is a little bit behind. 56-44. Yeah, I do think, and maybe also they were winning a little bit without Wemby, but still his impact's been legitimate. Yeah, those injuries are killers though. What place are they in? Third? St. John's pretty up pretty comfortably here. Why is it so far behind in the stream? So weird. UCLA 58-44 on UCF. Like I was saying, you're not your grandfather, your dad's UCLA, right? Even though they were defending before, I feel like this level of toughness that they have is very much Mick Cronin style, right? Mick Cronin coming from Cincinnati, just super tough. Maybe didn't have the top players, but the attitude, the style definitely reflects the coach. I feel like their style reflects the coach probably more than any other team. They're a three seed. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's not bad though. That's not bad. I think it's really tough to catch what what San Antonio is doing and what Oklahoma City's doing. But three seed ain't bad. If they could finish within like the 3-4 area, that's not bad. Their team isn't bad. I mean, honestly, I probably stick with them a little bit more. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I agree with that. They don't really. Jokic doesn't really get a lot of respect. Once he got injured, it was kind of changed everything for him. Because I don't think there's a legitimate chance of him winning the MVP. So if he has to sit out for a game, I would just say sit out. Yeah, he's definitely rolling. Jokic is definitely rolling. I mean, yeah, he's definitely rolling since that custody situation, and they kind of needed it. They definitely needed it. It's just unfortunate. I'm trying to even think who would be behind them. Minnesota, I feel like is always a threat, but we'll see who could kind of step up as like the third option. I think they're always better with Nas Reed when Nas Reed's rolling, but Minnesota and I've been impressed with Phoenix. I didn't expect them to be this good at all. George Beal with the step back 15 footer, 13-point game, 7 to go. UCLA. Eric Daly Jr. makes two of his free throws. 60 to 46 UCLA. I don't see any of these other games getting closer. I think Kansas wins this one handily. They got a pretty high seed. Not that Cal Baptist is bad though. Riley Cougar with 20 with the step back three. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these dudes are playing a lot. How do I say it? They're playing a lot better than you would expect, considering what their health seems like it would be. Uh, I feel like that's the best way I could say it. But yeah, he's playing well. He's playing well. And he's kind of accepted his role as like a third option. Eric Daly with the miss. John Bull with the defensive rebound. 5 minutes to go. There's enough time. Jordan Beal with a long three. I would say just put that thing back up. Yeah, smart. Just make the tip and layup, get the points. Yeah, I feel like when he gets on those kind of runs, it's just he's almost impossible to stop. Like what was his name? Dylan Brooks was saying like he's just too tough when he's feeling good. I feel like when Bacelis started talking trash to him, that kind of that was just part of the whole streak where he just started going off. George Bill Jr. subbing in for UCF. John Ball misses the first free throw. You can't really miss a lot of free throws right now. 5 minutes to go. If the clock is stopped, you want to put points on the board. Everything matters, especially in a lower scoring game like this. Donovan Dent with the miss. Pakeko with the defensive rebound. The Lakers are not playing today, right? Foul on Eric Daly Jr. Is this a 1-and-1? UCF dead ball team rebound. Okay, yeah. It makes sense. Is Detroit playing? Devin came. Well, he misses. Did he miss the first free throw? Yeah, he missed them both. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to come back. And then the turnover. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be tough to come back. I mean, if you're not hitting free throws, yeah, if you have 43 free throws, yeah, I imagine you probably had like 20. 43 free throws is insane. I imagine that might even be a record. I don't even know, to be honest with you. Because I think when Will Chamberlain scored 100, he had like 35 or something like that. So 43 might be like the record. I don't even know, to be honest. 2017 Lonzo Ball. Yeah. Yeah, man. He was yeah, just the health was not really. A lot of people blame it on the shoes, those ZO2 shoes that he had. I don't know if that's the main thing, but it couldn't have helped. Those shoes, if he had been wearing I don't want to say they weren't proper shoes, but maybe a different pair of shoes might have been a little bit better. St. John's kind of handling Northern Iowa right now. The St. John's team, I think they have a decent chance to make a good run. Maybe could have been a higher seed than the five, considering how they handled. Were they $500? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, about his like how his son was like the best player and all that. Yeah, I feel like he's quieted down. He quieted down a lot after like a few years. LaMelo Ball ended up being a good player though. I always felt like Lonzo could have been really. He could have been good. I'm not sure about his the way he was scoring the ball, but just as far as his defense, as far as his playmaking, he was always really solid. And he corrected the jumper. I don't know. It kind of sucks. Oh yeah, it beat Michael. Yeah, 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 yeah. He figured out. He was good with the. He was good at like using that. He knew how to make those sound bites that people would pay attention to. I give him that. Still on media timeout. All right, let me see some of these numbers. It's good for some of these other players to get in the game, though. Hopefully, some of these walk-ons got in. Lawyer, he's been good. He's been good his whole career. What is he, a junior maybe? Senior. Smith is probably a junior too? Senior. Oh, what? No. Maybe it's senior too? Yeah. I think he's an NBA player, though. Let me see. This game's still on. Timeout or whatever that is. That's what he said. That's what he said to Michael Jordan. Stay in your lane. Stephen A. Smith or LeVar Ball. Dang, that's a great question. LeVar Ball was pretty big. Like he was tall. Like he was probably like 6'5" or something. Like he was definitely tall. But I feel like Stephen A. Smith had the better jumper. Man, if it lasted a long time, I'll give it to LeVar Ball. He might have just been backing him down. Yeah, that post would have like I feel like that's where it would have been a little bit of a challenge. But if Stephen A. Smith got off to a hot start, like a hot start, then. But yeah, if it was like a longer game, I feel like LeVar Ball would have just been posting them up. Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that. Looks like St. John's is gonna cruise on this one. Wait, it seems like maybe the game's back. Yeah, okay. Jordan Burks makes a three ball. 7 point game. The game's definitely not over. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith he would be a sick trash talker. He'd be saying some interesting stuff. I feel like they're both actually, honestly pretty good with when it comes to like just saying stuff. That would be an interesting mic'd up conversation. I'd say that. Jordan, let me let me try to see if I can. There you go. Sky Clark subbing out. Jamar Brown subbing in. Seven-point game with 2 minutes to go. Definitely not over, but all good shots you got to take. Prime Tid Legler or Prime Scalabrini? To be honest, in my head, I feel like Scalabrini was a little bit. I feel like Scalabrini was a little bit more successful. I mean, Tim Legler could shoot. I'm just not sure. Like, I'm not sure how good. Like, he's definitely a better shooter. But I feel like Scalabrini can shoot it well enough, and he was significantly bigger. Man, that's an interesting question, but I'll go Scalabrini on that one. I don't know what. Oh shoot, wait, are they keeping this close? Well, it's close enough. Legler was a good shooter though. He won that 3-point contest, right? Yo, take care, man. Have a good night, man. Stay blessed, man. God bless in Jesus' name. Man, is this going? Oh, okay. Donovan Dent misses the 12-foot jumper. George Beal Jr. with the defensive rebound. George Beal misses the layup, and Jamar Brown with the defensive rebound. UCLA wants to get a really good shot on this one. Let's see what they can do. Bang it. Xavier Xavier Booker makes the layup. We got a 9-point game here. Just over 2 minutes to go. 10-point game. Yeah, that might be it though. That was a big play by Xavier Booker, and that might be it. Xavier Booker just might be too big for them inside. J. Michael Stillwell with the tip in. UCF at the timeout, they're not quitting on this game though. 66-58. UCLA. St. John's closes that one out up 26. Congrats to Northern Iowa on the season. Purdue 33-point win. Good to see some of these younger players, maybe or some of these lesser known players, guys that don't necessarily play as much, getting some opportunities for Purdue and for Queens. I don't know if that's a. I don't know if this is some type of timeout. Not sure. This was a really good game going into overtime. Santa Clara played a really good game. This was one of the better Santa Clara teams. I think the first time they've made the tournament since the days of Steve Nash, Canadian legend, NBA legend. Huge game by OA. Huge. Diabate with 17 and a 3. Garrison with 10. Malachi Moreno with 6 rebounds, though. Yeah, went through this one already. This was a pretty good game. MJ Collins played really well down the stretch. False left, great season. Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. Had a good first half. A Caden Lewis, smaller guard, but had a good year though. Ask you, former Kentucky player there. See if this game is back on. Yes, foul on Cole, folks. Second foul, 18 fouls, 1-1 for. We got the 1-1. Another timeout. All right, since they're on timeout, I feel like Akron had a decent chance to had it. Like they're not that far off. They are a good team. Yeah, almost 30 wins. Like, good team. Back to back tournaments, I think. Texas Tech, certainly not the same team, right? Missing their best player, JT Toppin, but have enough to get it done. Petty, Christian Anderson has been really good this year. Came off injury in the from the Big 12 tournament, but did enough here. What other games? Alabama, Hofstra. Credit to Speedy Claxton. Speedy Claxton playing at it, coaching at his alma mater here. Was a great player. Was an NBA player. All right, game's back on. Keiko subbing in. Donovan Dent makes the first free throw, makes the second free throw, 8 point game. UCLA doing just enough to stay in front. Jordan Burks with the driving layup. And that was solid, right? Didn't use that much clock. Quick drive. Trent Perry makes 1 to 2 free throws. 7 point game. Perry's fouled by folks. Makes the first one, misses the second. Kugel with the defensive rebound. Burks with the big three. Right? So why didn't update? Should be 65, right? Or am I wrong? Oh, yes, it is 65. But why didn't it change at the top? I don't know. That's UCF with the timeout. Prairie View A&M out of the SWAC conference. Yeah, as I was saying yesterday, a lot of these HBCU schools are playing really tough non-conference schedules, so you'll see a lot of bloated amount of losses because they need to make the money to be able to fund their season. Florida getting the number one seed here. They're a good team. They definitely got a shot at taking the whole thing. It'll honestly depend on the guard play, right? If Florida's guards, Perry gets fouled by Cambridge, makes the first free throw. Trent Perry, Brandon Williams commits the foul. What is it? Stillwell, who's the super senior? No. Who's it? Kugel? Oh, Cambridge, I think. Yeah, Cambridge is what, seventh year? One, two, three, four, five, six, seventh season. Due to injuries and transfers and the COVID year, took advantage. I ain't mad at it. Foul on Brandon Williams here. Hey, Prairie View staying with Florida pretty well, but it's always going to be tough with that kind of size differential. All right, let's see the tallest guys, or let's look at the roster. I imagine they probably have a 6'10". Yeah, they have one 6'10", one 6'9". Not that small. If they can rebound with Florida and hit some threes, there's always a shot, man. People don't love these stoppages. Yeah, Stillwell made one of these free throws. Sky Clark with the turnover. Devin Cambridge with the steal. See if he can convert here. If he converts on a three, there is a shot. Jordan Burks makes the three. It's still a shot. It's still a game. Foul on Jordan Burks. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough unless he misses both of these free throws. Do they have any timeouts left? That was a crazy three. Hey, credit to UCF. They did not quit here. Maybe a couple of mistakes. Trent Perry makes the first free throw. Brandon Williams subbing out. Yeah, a lot of stoppages, a lot of timeouts, a lot of this and that, but can't be mad. TV timeout, Prairie View hanging in here. Credit to Prairie View. I mean, if you could hit enough threes and you could rebound well enough, you're not necessarily out of it. Shout out to Boogie Flan, New York's very own. Yeah. If you're UCLA, you want to make sure you don't make any bad plays. But a second free throw here kind of kind of ices this. UCF has nothing to be ashamed of. They've really played well. I do think this might be a blowout, but Cal Baptist guard is pretty darn good. Who's their point guard? Yeah, Daniels. He's like 5'10". He has a lot of wiggle. Dominic Daniels. Dominique Daniels. Yep, Trent Perry makes them both. They didn't ice them. Folks makes the layup. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. There's just not enough time, honestly. UCLA, barring some crazy mistake, should get this one. So, Folks with the foul. Sky Clark misses. Without it, I'm not sure if they have a timeout though. That I'm not able to see. Sky Clark makes the second one. Yeah, this one's credit to UCF. Jordan Burks with the miss. Game over. Bilodeau, maybe hopefully Bilodeau comes back in the next game. Their leading scorer, and it's going to be important for him to come back. But if he can't, they did enough. Florida is starting to pull away here. Let me see if there's any other games I should speak on. Hofstra. Yeah, I was saying Speedy Claxton brought his team back. Bo Bone with 15, tray balls. LeBaron Philon with 29, 8 and 7 assists. Massive game. Ed Mead with 24, 4 and 4. And then we got Tennessee State. Credit to Tennessee State. Nolan Smith, I believe, is the coach. Old Duke player. Nkrumah with 21. Jefferson, I think, got hurt in this game. It's not going to be good overall if he can't go. Momcilovic with 17. Torre with 25. Jefferson's what? Second leading scorer? Wright State. Jakari White with a big game here. Massive game. The Ritter, I think he's an NBA player. He's had a really good season here. Long Island with the fin. Everybody was doing their fin this year. So shout out to Long Island for how they played this year. Bradley with 7. Braden Burries with 18. Cole Pete with 15. Karchenkov with 14. Yeah, so that's a wrap up for today. God bless in Jesus' name, amen. Thanks.